Welcome to the Nameless.
The police said he'd already been missing for 48 hours when he called me. I remember the exact time, 2:17 a.m. I remember because I was still awake, sitting on the edge of my bed, scrolling through old photos I didn't want to look at. His name lit up my screen like it always had. No weird numbers, no blocked ID, just Evan. We'd been friends since middle school, not the kind who talk every day, the kind who don't need to. I almost didn't answer. That's the part that keeps replaying. I almost let it ring out, but I picked up. And the first thing he said was, "They told you already, didn't they?" No hello, no build-up, just that. I asked him what he meant. A long pause. Not static, just space. "They said I'm missing." I thought he was joking. Evan had that kind of humor. Dry, committed to the bit. "Dude, it's 2 a.m. Another pause. "They're going to start looking in the wrong places." His voice didn't sound panicked. It sounded tired.
Like he'd been awake longer than I had. I asked him where he was. He didn't answer that. Instead, he said, "You remember that camping trip? Senior year?" I did. There were 6 of us. A state park about 2 hours out. Nothing dramatic happened. We drank cheap beer, complained about bugs, left early because it rained. "That wasn't the first time I'd been there," he said. I sat up a little straighter. "What are you talking about?" "I went back," he said, "last week." I checked the time again, 2:19 a.m. "You went camping?" "No," he said, "not exactly." The way he said that made my stomach tighten. I asked him what that meant. Another silence. Then, I needed to check something. I waited for him to elaborate. He didn't. Instead, he asked me if I still had the old group photo from that trip, the one by the lake. I told him, yeah, probably. "Look at it," he said. "Right now?" "Yes." There was something in his tone. Not urgency, not fear, certainty. So I pulled up my cloud drive and scrolled.
It took a minute, but I found it. 6 of us standing near the water, trees behind us, gray sky. Normal. "I'm looking at it," I said. "Count." "Count what?" "People." I felt stupid. "There are 6 of us." "Are you sure?" I zoomed in. Me, Jenna, Mark, Tyler, Chris, Evan. 6. "Yeah," I said. 6. He didn't respond. "Evan?" "Zoom in on the trees." I sighed. I remember being irritated at this point. It felt like a prank that was dragging on too long, but I zoomed in. The trees were just trees, blurred leaves, shadows. And then I saw something that made me lean closer to the screen. Between 2 trunks, further back than the rest of us, there was a shape. It wasn't clear, just darker than the surrounding bark, almost like a person standing slightly out of focus. "That wasn't there before," Evan said quietly. My mouth felt dry. "It's just compression," I said, like a shadow. "No," he said. "It's not." "How do you know?" Another pause. "Because I've seen it up close."
The room felt smaller. I asked him what he meant. He didn't answer directly. Instead, he said, "When I went back last week, I found the clearing again." "You said you didn't go camping." "I didn't." "Then why were you there?" A soft exhale. "I got a letter. That caught me off guard." "What kind of letter?" "No return address, just coordinates." I laughed, not because it was funny, because it felt absurd. "You telling me you got mysterious coordinates and just went?" "Yes." "Why?" Another pause. "Because I knew what they were." I didn't know what to say to that. The silence between us stretched long enough that I checked my phone to make sure the call hadn't dropped. Still connected.
I thought it was a joke, he continued. But when I put them into my GPS, it was the same place. The lake. The clearing. He swallowed. I could hear it. But it looked different. How? There was a building. That didn't make sense. There's no building there, I said. There is now.
He told me it was small, concrete, no windows, like a utility structure, the kind you'd ignore. I thought maybe it had always been there, he said, and we just didn't notice. That seems unlikely. I know. I checked the time again, 2:27 a.m. Did you go inside? I asked. A long silence. Yes. Of course he did. He said the door wasn't locked, just heavy. Inside there were lights, not flickering, not broken, just on. There was nothing in it, he said. No furniture, no equipment. Then why was it there? I don't know. His voice had changed, slightly flatter, but the floor wasn't concrete. What was it? Dirt. I didn't like that. It didn't make sense, he continued. Concrete walls, concrete ceiling, dirt floor. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe unfinished construction, maybe abandoned. That's what I thought, he said, as if hearing me think. But there were footprints. Yours? No. The air in my room felt colder. How many? I don't know, he said. Enough. Enough for what? Another pause. Enough that I didn't feel alone. I wanted to ask why he hadn't told anyone, why he hadn't called me then. Instead, I asked, so what happened? I left, he said, and when I got back to my car, there was mud on the inside of the windshield. I blinked. On the inside? Yes. Like someone touched it? No, he said. Like something leaned against it. The call crackled for a second. Just a small glitch. Evan, where are you right now? I went back tonight. My chest tightened. Why would you do that? I thought if I went again, it would look normal. And it doesn't. He inhaled slowly. It's bigger. What is? The building. That made no sense. How can it be bigger? I don't know. Are you inside? Yes. The word echoed faintly, like he was in a hollow space. Evan, I said carefully, can you leave? Another long silence. I tried. Tried how? The door is still there, he said, but it doesn't open to the trees anymore. My heart started beating faster. What does it open to? I don't know. That's not possible. I know. The connection dipped for a moment. His voice came back thinner. There are more footprints now. Evan, and they're not just on the floor. I stopped breathing. What do you mean? They're on the walls. I waited for him to laugh, to break character. He didn't. Like someone walked out of the ground, he said softly, and kept going. The line went quiet again. Evan, I whispered, call the police. They already think I'm missing. That sentence landed heavy. What happened after you left the first time? I asked. Another pause. They came to my apartment. Who? I don't know. Evan. I saw them on the hallway camera. What did they look like? Normal, he said. That's the problem. He told me 2 people stood outside his door for exactly 6 minutes. Not knocking, not moving, just standing. Then they left. And that's when I got the call, he said. What call? From my mom. I felt a chill crawl up my spine. She was crying, he continued. She said the police were at her house. Why? They told her I'd been reported missing. I felt the room tilt. Reported by who? I don't know. And you were at home, he said, talking to her. I couldn't find the logic in that. They said my car was found near the state park, but it wasn't. It was in my parking lot. We both sat in that contradiction. They had photos, he added, of my car by the lake. I didn't know what to say. Evan, are you sure you're not mixing things up? Stress can... I knew you'd say that. I'm just trying to help. I know. His voice softened for the first time. That's why I called you. Another crackle, louder this time. They're closer now, he said. Who? The footprints.
My mouth went dry. That doesn't make sense. I know. There was a sound in the background. Not footsteps, not breathing, just a low hum. Do you hear that? He asked. No.
You don't hear it?
No. It's getting louder. I checked the call duration. 23 minutes. Evan, describe the room. It's not a room anymore. My stomach dropped. It's wider. How? I can't see the walls. But you said... I know what I said. His breathing was shallow now. I think it's underground. Then how is their signal? I don't know. The hum grew faintly audible through the speaker. Or maybe I imagined it. There's something written here, he said suddenly. Where? On the dirt. What does it say? Another pause. It's my name. A long silence followed. Evan, you need to leave. I told you, the door doesn't... The line cut out. Just dead air. I stared at my phone. Call ended. 2:41 a.m. I called back immediately. It went straight to voicemail. I tried again. Voicemail. I didn't sleep. At 8:12 a.m., there was a knock at my door. 2 officers. They asked if I knew Evan. They told me he'd been missing for 48 hours.
His car was found near a state park. I asked which one. They named it. The same one. I told them he called me last night. They exchanged a look. What time? One asked. 2:17. They shook their heads. His phone had been off since the day before yesterday. No outgoing, no incoming, nothing. I showed them my call log. It was there. 34 minutes. They took a photo of it. Later that afternoon, I checked again. The call was gone, like it had never happened. I drove to the state park 2 days later. I needed to see it. The clearing was still there. The lake, the trees, no building. I walked the perimeter 3 times. Nothing. I asked a park ranger if there had ever been construction out there. He frowned. No buildings by the lake, he said. Never. I checked county records. Nothing. No permits, no foundations, no utility lines. I pulled up the old photo again, zoomed in to the trees. The dark shape was still there, but it looked closer. That's impossible. I know that.
Images don't change, but the gap between the trunks seemed narrower, like whatever stood there had taken a step forward. I contacted the others from the trip. Jenna didn't remember taking the photo. Mark said he'd never been to that park with us. Tyler didn't answer. Chris said there were only 5 of us on that trip. I hung up after that. I counted again. In the photo now, there are 5 people. I'm still in it. Jenna, Mark, Tyler, Chris. There's a space where Evan should be. Just empty air. I've checked older backups. Same thing. No trace of him. No tags, no comments. His social media accounts are gone. His apartment was cleared out by the time I drove past it. The leasing office said no one by that name had ever lived there. Even his mom. I drove to her house. I've known that house since I was 13. A different family lives there now. They've been there 8 years. I sat in my car across the street for an hour, trying to remember her face. It's getting harder.
Sometimes I wonder if I misheard the hook of that conversation. Maybe he didn't say, "They told you already." Maybe he said something else. Maybe I filled in the gaps. But there's one thing I can't explain. Every night at 2:17 a.m., my phone lights up. No ringtone, no vibration, just the screen turning on. When I pick it up, there's no notification, no missed call, just my home screen. And if I open my photos and zoom in to that old picture, the trees look closer, like they're leaning in, waiting. And sometimes, just for a second, I can't remember which one of us is supposed to be missing.